Welcome to the Cup of Joe Wrestling Show.
Cup of Joe Wrestling Show?
With Joey Harris. A podcast for the wrestling fan on the go. So take your favorite beverage of choice and join Joey as he takes a look at some of the biggest shows on the WWE Network.
Welcome to the Cup of Joe Wrestling Show. I'm your host, Joey Harris, and we are broadcasting from makeshift studios in the shadow of South Central Virginia. Follow the show on Twitter and Blue Sky at Cup of Joe Pod. Email the show at cupofjoewrestlingshow@gmail.com. If you would like to support this show, you can do so at paypal.me/cupofjoepod. I am on Cash App and Venmo at The Joey Harris. And don't forget, folks, patreon.com/babykangaroomedia. $5 a month. So much content on there already. We've got the green room. We've got the artist corner with my friend TJ. My friend Nan and I did the book club baristas, and I just finished recording yesterday the first episode of the Cup of Joe on Patreon, where my friend Tyler and I talked about how we became wrestling fans, our love of wrestling, traveling, WrestleMania, you name it, we talk it. And so all of that and much more, $5 a month. You can't beat that deal. And before we start, folks, I wanted to send out my condolences on the loss of Bob Uecker, the great Bob Uecker, baseball announce guy, Mr. Baseball, actor, storyteller, great on The Tonight Show, Mr. Belvedere, Major League, play-by-play announcer for the Brewers, just a great all-around guy, of course, at WrestleMania 3 and 4, and his iconic call of Andre the Giant from WrestleMania 3 that they still use to this day, and that shot of him and Andre backstage at WrestleMania 4 where Andre's pretending to choke him, just so iconic. So my sincere condolences on his loss, and my thoughts and prayers go out to his friends and fans and family. And today we look at something a little different as we view the Action Zone from November the 27th, 1994 from the WWF. Now, a friend of my mother's knew that I liked Stephen King and still like Stephen King. And she recorded 3 of his movies on her cable system that were coming on. I remember 2 of them, Christine and Needful Things. I can't remember the third one, whether it was Cujo or I want to say it was The Dark Half. It doesn't matter. But anyway, the first thing on there just says 1 hour of wrestling. And it turned out to be this show. So I saw this and we recorded on USA on November the 27th, 1994. It was taped November the 9th, 1994 from the Stabler Arena in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Vince McMahon and Todd Pettengill are our hosts. They welcome us and preview that we have a new WWF Champion in Diesel. We start out with our intro. Duke Droese versus King Kong Bundy with Ted DiBiase. Droese with an early barrage of offense. He drop kicks Bundy out of the ring. Droese chases DiBiase to the back. Bundy follows and he and Droese fight in the aisle. They get back in the ring. Bundy knocks Droese down with a shot. He drops an elbow for a 2 count. Bundy with a back elbow. He misses an elbow drop as DiBiase comes back to ringside. Droese works on Bundy's arm. Droese with a crossbody for a 2 count into an armbar. Bundy with a clothesline. He drops a knee for a 2 count. Droese gets out of a headlock. Bundy gets it back on. Droese with a series of shoulder blocks. He misses an elbow drop. Bundy misses a splash, back and forth. Droese with a clothesline and the trash compactor for a 2 count. Droese misses a corner charge. Bundy hits 2 avalanches to get the pin. They recap what happened in the match between Bret Hart and Bob Backlund and how Owen Hart manipulated his parents to throw the towel in and cost Bret the title. They then talk about the breakup between Diesel and Shawn Michaels. Diesel becomes the number 1 contender, and they then show the match between Diesel and Backlund, Big Boot, Jackknife Powerbomb, and pin, and we have a new champion. They then review the casket match and plug the Survivor Series replay. Well done, Timothy Well and Stephen Dunn with Harvey Whippleman versus Gary Sabal and Mike Corey. Sabal is the Italian stallion. Well starts with Sabal. Well dominates. Sabal gets a drop kick and a hip toss. Corey tagged in. Well comes back. Dunn tagged in. He drops a fist. Well back in. He hits a drop kick. Dunn in and headbutts Corey. Double back elbow by Well Done. A slingshot guillotine gets the pin for Well Done. We then get a Henry Godwinn vignette. Adam Bomb versus the Black Phantom. Bomb is popular with the crowd. Bomb attacks right away. He hits a suplex. Phantom comes back. Bomb with a hip toss and a slam. He drops an elbow back and forth. Phantom with a guillotine. He hits a leapfrog by the guillotine. Bomb comes back. He hits a back elbow and a pump handle slam to get the pin. We then get footage of Bull Nakano winning the WWF Women's Championship from Alundra Blaze. And we get footage of Diesel addressing Madison Square Garden after his win. Owen Hart versus Jason Arndt. The bell rings and they circle each other. They trade moves. Hart with a drop toe hold and an armbar. He chops Arndt and takes Arndt down. He gets the win with the sharpshooter. We get another Survivor Series replay ad. And then highlights of the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Razor Ramon versus J.S. Storm. Ramon dominates Storm. He hits a top rope belly-to-back suplex. He then hits the Razor's Edge to get the pin. IRS promo about The Undertaker in a cemetery. We then get the Bushwhackers Luke and Butch versus the Brooklyn Brawler and Ray Hudson. The crowd loves the Bushwhackers. They get the pin on Hudson. Charlie Min runs down what we're going to see next week and signs off. Final thoughts. A good quick show with the Diesel footage is an all-time classic. You can follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at The Joey Harris, at The Joey Harris on Blue Sky and Threads. If you like the show, please leave a review on iTunes, Apple Podcasts, or your preferred podcast app. I would really appreciate it. We can also be found on Spotify and YouTube. Just search for The Cup of Joe Wrestling Show and don't forget to hit subscribe. Thank you for joining me. This is Joey saying so long from the heart of Virginia.
The Cup of Joe Wrestling Show is a production of Baby Kangaroo Media.